While politicians constantly promise growth and stability, claiming to serve the public, there is a hidden power operating in the shadows. Beyond campaign rallies, a silent but overwhelmingly potent force is at play. This entity is known as the central bank. They don't seek votes or public adoration. In fact, the average citizen couldn't even name the individuals who run them. Yet they hold the keys to the economy. They determine the money supply, choose winners and losers in the banking sector, and can single-handedly devalue your savings or crash your pension fund. Surprisingly, they wield this immense influence without ever receiving a single vote from the public. This story uncovers the hidden origins of central banks and reveals how they became the true puppet masters of our modern society. To grasp their ascendancy, we must look to 17th century Europe. It was a chaotic era where endless wars and royal extravagance had bankrupted nations, leaving governments desperate for hard currency. In England, King William III was desperate for funds to fight France, but creditors were hesitant. The monarchy was notorious for not paying back its loans. The solution was a new entity with a unique power, the ability to print paper money backed by government debt. Thus, the Bank of England was born, acting as both the lender to the king and the bank for the entire country. The takeaway was undeniable. Controlling credit meant controlling the government. This model spread globally. By the time of Napoleon, warfare had become as much about finance as it was about soldiers. The true turning point occurred in the 20th century. America's financial system was unstable and fragmented, leading to frequent bank runs whenever public confidence wavered. The Panic of 1907 was the tipping point, where a Wall Street crash devastated the national economy. Banks collapsed, panic spread, and the financial system nearly disintegrated. Remarkably, the government was helpless. The crisis was solved by a private banker, J.P. Morgan, who literally locked other financiers in a room until they agreed to bail out the system. A single individual had outperformed the U.S. Congress in stabilizing the economy. This embarrassment led politicians to realize they needed an institution with Morgan's power, but one that ostensibly served the nation. Consequently, in 1913, following clandestine meetings on Jekyll Island, the Federal Reserve was born. It was portrayed as independent from political whims, yet it maintained deep ties to Wall Street. World War I served as the first major test. Central banks intervened by printing money and issuing bonds to keep governments afloat, effectively abandoning the gold standard that had previously anchored currency value. The lesson was harsh but clear. In times of crisis, central banks will always print money to save the government. Creating money out of thin air became standard policy, not just an emergency measure. The Great Depression revealed the dangers of this system. When the market crashed in 1929, the Fed's inaction led to banking collapses, frozen credit, and mass unemployment across the nation. While economists debate the causes, one fact became undeniable. The decisions made by central bankers hold the power to determine the financial fate of millions of people. In 1944, the Bretton Woods Conference established a new order where the gold-backed U.S. dollar became the global reserve currency, to which all other currencies were pegged. That era ended abruptly in 1971. Facing a depletion of gold reserves, President Nixon decided to sever the dollar's link to gold, effectively dismantling the financial system. On August 15, 1971, the link was cut. Since then, the world has operated on fiat currency, money that has value only because the government dictates it does. Back in the 1980s, Fed Chairman Paul Volcker took drastic measures, hiking interest rates to almost 20% in a bid to annihilate inflation. This triggered a severe recession, but it successfully restored global confidence in the U.S. dollar. The Fed proved it could wield its authority like a blunt instrument, reshaping the entire economic landscape with a single decision.
Unleashed, central banks could now print money without limit. During the 2008 crash, they conjured trillions of dollars out of thin air to rescue failing financial institutions. They termed it quantitative easing. While it saved Wall Street, it acted as a silent tax on savers, transferring wealth to the asset-rich elite while eroding the purchasing power of the working class. During the 2020 pandemic, money printing accelerated to unprecedented levels. The rationale remained constant, maintaining economic stability regardless of the long-term cost. The consequences were inflation and massive asset bubbles. It revealed the stark reality. Central banks are not neutral observers. They are the ultimate power brokers defining what money is. They pick winners and losers in the economy. It is crucial to realize that unelected bankers, not politicians, control your financial destiny. Our system relies on fragile trust. Central banks can print currency, but not credibility. True security lies in tangible assets that cannot be conjured out of thin air. Gold, land, skills, and businesses, these hold real value. The history of central banks is clear. Created to fund governments, they have evolved into the invisible rulers of the global economy. Unelected and unaccountable, their decisions impact your life more than laws do. This is the paradox. Our financial survival is controlled by people we never voted for. If this video opened your eyes to how money really works, make sure to subscribe. We shouldn't look for answers in the future. The secrets to understanding our economy are already written in history.